Joining us for a conversation is Dr. Roger Moss, the CEO of Labrador Gold, which is focused on a golden opportunity in Newfoundland and Labrador. Dr. Moss, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Maurice. It's great to be back here.
It's a pleasure to be speaking with you today to discuss the latest exploration developments on the flagship Kingsway Gold Project. Before we begin, Dr. Moss, please introduce us to Labrador Gold and the opportunity the company presents to shareholders.
Yes. Well, I think as many of your listeners know, Labrador Gold is a junior gold explorer. We have several properties in eastern Canada, including one in Labrador and one here in Newfoundland. And it's really the Newfoundland Kingsway project that we're focused on. That's our flagship property, and we've been working here for about 18 months now with some good results, which I'm sure we'll get into. And I think the real value proposition here is that we are in the midst of a gold rush in central Newfoundland. And we are one of the companies that I believe is ahead of the curve, and I think the results that we've had to date speak for themselves.
Well, Dr. Moss, you referenced good results. That's putting it quite mildly. Well, Dr. Moss, take us to central Newfoundland, along the gold belt there on the Appleton Fault Zone, and please provide us with a brief overview of your 100% owned flagship Kingsway Gold Project.
Yeah, the Kingsway project is something, as I mentioned, we've been working on here for about 18 months now, and the Appleton Fault Zone is central to this property, both in terms of its sort of central location on the property, but also in terms of it's the center of where our exploration efforts have been focused, and there's a very good reason for that, and that is that this is a major fault structure up which we believe that these gold-bearing fluids came up to where they were deposited in the surface. And these are the exact type of structures that we focus on in order to explore for these types of orogenic gold deposits. And that's a big part of our strategy along the Appleton Fault Zone, is that we're looking for cross-cutting structurally where structures intersect, which might provide a really nice, structurally complex area for the gold to precipitate out of these solutions. And along with other techniques like soil geochemistry and geophysics, these all put together help us define these targets. And we have numerous targets now along this Appleton Fault Zone, and as you know, we're drilling several of them, and we have been drilling for going on a year now.
Well, speaking of drilling, we'll get to that in just a second, as last year was an exceptional year for Labrador Gold, as each consecutive press release demonstrated your team's proof of concept, from high-grade gold to pristine gold, and now Labrador Gold has decided to double its drill program to 100,000 meters, along with 5 active drill rigs. Dr. Moss, this is quite ambitious. Take us along the Appleton Fault Zone and walk us through the exploration program and show us where the drill rigs will be exploring.
Sure, yeah, I think it is an ambitious drill program, and before we announced that, I really wanted to be sure in my mind that we had the targets to back it up. I mean, it's one thing to say that you're going to drill 100,000 meters, but it's another thing entirely to have 100,000 meters worth of good quality targets. Now, I'm not saying that we have them right now, but I know that we have the ability to develop them, and our methodology so far has worked out. We've had 2 discoveries in the last 18 months, one at Big Vein, which we've been drilling for a while now, with some really, really good high-grade results. And more recently, towards the end of last year, we had the discovery of Golden Glove. So our exploration strategy is working, and we have been developing more and more targets along the Appleton Fault. So if we go from the southern boundary of our claim block. The closest one to the southern boundary is Golden Glove, and that's where we had some really good results from a quartz vein that contained visible gold. We had results up to 338 grams a ton in samples from that quartz vein, and so that's where we're drilling now. We go up a bit further north. We've got Big Vein, which, as I mentioned, we've been drilling for quite a while. And you mentioned the pristine gold grains. So about another kilometer north of Big Vein, we have what we call the pristine target, and we started drilling there last November. And so I think we've ramped up the drilling somewhat conservatively, and we're continuing to do that as we develop the targets. So in addition to those 3 targets, we probably have about another 5 or 6 targets that we're focused on, and that we will be seeing drilling certainly by the end of this year. And those targets spread from the southern boundary to the northeast for about 12 kilometers. So we're targeting the entire 12-kilometer strike length of the Appleton Fault Zone. And I think this is a structure that, as I mentioned, it seems to be quite a productive structure for gold mineralization, and this is where our focus has been and will continue to be as we go forward.
Can we go back to the Golden Glove for a moment, which is, if I'm not mistaken, is right along strike on Newfound Gold's high-grade mineralization, the Big Dave discovery. Can you tell us more about that, please?
Yeah, sure. Well, it was kind of funny because when we announced the discovery of Golden Glove, I think it was in October of last year, and I believe it was on a Tuesday. And on Thursday, Newfound Gold came out with the discovery of Big Dave, which I thought was a little tried one-upmanship, if you like. But regardless of that, yeah, it is a long strike. I think it's about 1 kilometer between Big Dave on the south and our Golden Glove deposit. And one of the things about Golden Glove and Big Dave, and going further south on the Queensway project to the Lotto, the Golden Joint, and the Keats Zone, is that these occurrences are on the east side of the Appleton Fault Zone. At Big Vein and the pristine target, we're drilling on the west side of the Appleton Fault Zone. And some people have said, well, you're not going to get as good grades or as good intersections on the west side as you will on the east side. And that's sort of because from what we know of what Newfound Gold has hit on their Queensway property, they've been drilling mostly on the east side of the Appleton Fault, and have had some spectacular grades and of wide intersections. And while we've had the grades up at Big Vein, we haven't seen those long intersections of really high grade mineralization. So I think people are excited that we finally get to drill Golden Glove, and I can say that the drill is drilling right now, and on the first hole. So we're looking forward to getting the results from that and seeing if we can really prove that the east side of the Appleton Fault is better than the west.
And speaking of those results, are you seeing a difference or expecting a difference this year as far as turnaround time from the labs?
We have already. I'm glad you asked that, because it's one of the things that, it frustrates us tremendously. It is just so frustrating to be waiting for assays for so long. I know that that our investors are waiting for results, and it's just I don't know what to say. I mean, what I can say is that it seems to have gotten worse this year than it was last year. Surprisingly, I expected it to be better in the winter because not so many companies are working. Mostly only companies that are drilling, I think, would be submitting samples to the lab right now. but it has gotten worse. We're looking at, I think the shortest turnaround time that we have right now for some of our samples has been three months, and it's up to 5 months. I mean, we just got some rock samples back the other day that we submitted to the lab back in October. I mean, it's that bad. And I wish there was something that we could do, but there doesn't seem to be. So that's the situation we're in right now.
Well, thank you for the clarification, because I understand that sometimes shareholders get upset and they think that maybe the company's withholding information, and I always convey to them, no, it's not that. They want to get the information just as bad as you do.
No, absolutely, and this is as bad. I've never seen it this bad, and I've been in this business for 30-something years, and this is the worst I've seen it.
Well, switching gears, let's look at some numbers. Dr. Moss, please provide us with the capital structure for Labrador Gold.
Yeah, so right now we have about 155 million shares outstanding, 40 million warrants, and about 7 million options. So we're just over 200 million fully diluted. Those warrants are mostly in the money and mostly due to come in this year. So that'll probably add to our cash position of about $30 million, Canadian funds, of course. And the market cap right now is about 140 million.
Well, speaking of the stock, allow me to congratulate you, sir, as Labrador Gold was inducted into the 2022 OTCQX Best 50. What an accomplishment.
Yeah, that really came as a surprise. It came out of nowhere. I know we had a good year last year, and but I certainly didn't expect to make the top 50. I think we were 17th overall, which was quite, it was nice to see. And as you know, the OTCQX is not just exploration companies; it's all sectors of the economy. So it was nice to be recognized for that. Yeah.
Now, before we close, Dr. Moss, what would you like to say to shareholders?
Well, I think we're doing the best we can here. We've got all these rigs going. We're targeting some really good gold occurrences and good and gold anomalies. We're increasing the targets, and we do plan to hit every part of that 12-kilometer Appleton Fault in the coming year with drilling. And like I said, it's really frustrating for us as well as you to be waiting so long for results. But we'll get them out as soon as we can. And in the meantime, we hope to provide updates like this to keep you in the loop. And that's exactly that's my promise to you guys, that we'll keep you in the loop as best we can.
Well, I have full confidence, sir. I'm a shareholder, as you know, and I plan to add to my position. So you have my full vote of confidence there. Last question, sir. What did I forget to ask?
I think we covered pretty much everything. I think I was going to mention the assays, but we covered that. I guess there are a few, the issues with staffing and drills, but right now we're looking pretty good. Like I mentioned, we have 5 drills, and we have a full complement of staff, geologists, geotechnicians, and actually one of the great things right now is that it's bright and sunny here in Newfoundland, and we even have some of our crews out prospecting and till sampling. So who would have thought in the middle of March we'd be out till sampling and prospecting, just getting a jump on the rush that we know is going to be coming come spring.
Well, Dr. Moss, for someone that wants to learn more about Labrador Gold, please share the contact details.
Yes, absolutely. We have obviously we have our website, www.labradorgold.com. My email address rmoss@labradorgold.com, and we have Twitter @labgoldcorp, And I always say to people, go to our YouTube channel, because you can find interviews like this. You can find some of the videos that we do in the field that give you some background of what's actually happening out here. So always go to the YouTube channels if you want some light entertainment.
Well, in reference to those field videos, they're exceptional, high quality. I have to give it to you. I would encourage anyone to check out that YouTube channel, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. But what's very important for all listeners to understand is next to the subscribe button is a bell. If you do not click the bell, when Labrador Gold and or Proven and Probable, when we release a video, you will not be notified. So you must click the bell. All right?
All right, yeah.
Dr. Moss, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Wishing you and Labrador Gold the absolute best, sir.
Thank you very much, Maurice. It's always a pleasure talking to you, and you take care.
Thank you, sir.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.